Hi, everybody. It's John Sylvain here. How the heck are you? Sorry for the little delay. I don't even know if there was a delay. I can't even tell. It's all sort of off time. Hi, everybody. It's John Sylvain here. How the heck are you? Sorry for the little delay. You can hear the delay. There's a delay. It's a latency. It's digital latency. I was listening to a great podcast on 99% Invisible about digital sound and talked about latency and how digital music is slightly off because it takes the digital world a little bit of time to recreate the analog world. And that's a problem with digital music, with digital downloads and so forth like that, and things like this that I'm doing right now. In fact, I'm looking at myself here, and what I see is a little bit ahead of what you're going to see, which causes a little bit of cognitive dissonance. I also listened to a great thing, a podcast in Visibilia about your future self, which turns dark. But it reminded me of today's topic, which is the story that you tell yourself and the future that you live into. So here's the thing. I've been talking a lot about the story that you tell yourself and your self-talk and your view of the world and how it affects what you do and how important that is and how you can actually change it. So in a nutshell, right, you have the world, the actual world. And what I mean by the actual world, I call it the dog reality because it's the reality that your dog will agree with. Like a tree is a tree, and things on Earth fall to the earth because of gravity, and water exists and is wet. Everything else, all the values that we have, all the money, all civilization, everything that your dog doesn't understand, that's all made up. Now, it doesn't mean that it's not important. And it doesn't mean that it can't affect you. It's just that if you realize that it's made up, you realize that you can change the meaning that things have in your head. And that can change the way you look at the world. A great example of this is the news media. So there are people who get their news about the world from different sources, as we all know. And some of those sources spin things one way, to the left, and other sources spin it the other way, to the right. Now, I just did that opposite for me, but I think that you'll see it, because it's not a mirror. Anyway, so your reality is affected by what story is being told to you or what story you tell yourself. Now, what really affects your life and the things that you do is the future, the story about the future that you tell yourself. And usually, for most people, in fact, almost all people, that future story is affected by the story that you told yourself in the past, which may have been affected by things that happened in the past. Now, here's the thing. Well, the story that you tell yourself in the past and what happened in the past is really, really affected by what I call the two designers of our brains, the caveman and the toddler who did most of their work in the dark without a plan. So it's very important to realize that you're living into a future that doesn't make any sense and is, full of saber-toothed tigers and people who are bigger than you because you're a toddler. Do you know what I mean? So it's very, very, very important to be aware of what future you're living into. And it might be based on the fact that you failed at certain things like math or a certain kind of job, or maybe you auditioned once and didn't get the job. Or maybe you were told that you weren't good at something by somebody, and you believed them. Now, maybe you're not good at it, but that doesn't mean you can't become good at it. That doesn't mean that your dreams can't come true. or that this, that, and the other thing can't happen. And if you try and fail and you give up, then you then think that giving up is the option, is the thing to do. It certainly is a safe thing to do, is giving up. Giving up is certainly safe. Giving up on something that's difficult is much easier than actually trying to do it. I will grant you that. But sometimes it's much more, actually most of the time, it's much more satisfying to keep trying until you succeed. And then you get this huge, wonderful feeling. So anyway, here's the little tip technique that I want to remind you of. I mentioned this a while ago. I've mentioned it a couple times, I think. It comes from Debbie Millman, and she got it from a teacher of hers. Debbie Millman is a designer, pretty famous designer in the design world, and she has a fantastic podcast that she called Design Matters, and she interviews all sorts of people. And she was interviewed by somebody, and she mentioned this exercise. And basically, what you do is you imagine a day 10 years from now, and it's not just any day. It's not a non-specific day. It's the day 10 years from now. I believe that today is August 6th. Let me check. No, it's August 7th. So, and it's 2017 right now. So imagine August 7th, 2027. And write down in your ideal world what your day is like. Just your day. And you look on the calendar and see what day August 7th is. I believe it's probably going to be a Thursday. No, why would I know that? No, there's going to be 2 leap years. Every day on a normal year, goes ahead one day. So next year, August 7th, will be on a Tuesday. So 10 years from now, it'll be on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, except that there's 2 leap years, so it'll be a Friday, Saturday. That's my prediction. That's my savant prediction. So 10 years from now to Saturday, what happens on that Saturday? You get up in the morning, and where are you? What bed are you living in? What house are you living in? Who's next to you? You get up and you go brush your teeth or have some coffee? Or would you go work out? What do you do? What do you do? And then where do you go for that day? Who do you talk with? What are you involved with? So you create this sort of real day. And I did this a little while ago, and I came up with a great day. And it was really, really fun to do what I'm going to be doing in 10 years. And the thing is that this is a thing that Debbie Millman did in her class, and she looked back at it 10 years later, the thing that she wrote, which seemed like completely crazy, and it was almost exactly what she was doing with her life. And that fellow students of hers who did the same thing found that they were living into that exact future. And she's tried it with many people over the years with her students, and it works like crazy, like gangbusters, because what it does is create a reality. It's not like someday I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be famous someday. Someday I'll meet Prince Charming. Someday I will, and of course someday never comes, but August 7th, 2027 will come. See how that works? Reality-based fantasy. Hey, I just invented the term. Reality-based fantasy. Okay, so I invented reality-based fantasy, and I gave you something really good to, an exercise to do, and I reminded you to live into a fantastic future that you invent. So I think my work here is done, and it's been more than 10 minutes. So I want you to go out and have a fantastic day. If you think this is valuable, again, please go ahead and share it. And you see my thing here that says blog. I'm going to start putting these videos on my blog, so it'll be easier for you to find them. I'm going to start doing that this week, I promise. And I want you to have a wonderful day, and I love you all. Bye.